and I'd like to take a minute just right there. I'll tell you how I got hired and fired from a company called Kung Fu Tea. Hi guys, it's story time. That's why I'm in front of my bookshelf. Today I'm going to be telling you about how I got hired and then fired from Kung Fu Tea in one day. If you don't know what Kung Fu Tea is, it's a boba tea store that serves different kinds of drinks like coffee, slushy, and whatnot. It's a normal boba tea store. But this company in specific has stores in 6 different countries. Now this plays an important role later, but 6 different countries. So this particular Kung Fu Tea is around the general vicinity in which my life happens. So it's super convenient and everyone goes there. One day I saw that they were hiring and I was like, whoa, that's cool. Can I get an application or something? So the manager is like, oh, we don't have any applications, but you can write your name on this piece of paper right here. So I do, and I hand it back to her and she's like, here's your drink. Have a good day. So a couple of days later, the manager, let's call her Jess, she texts me and makes sure that I'm okay with like the duties that comes with working at this place, like cleaning, making sure customers are happy, making sure everything's like nice and neat. So she asks, so you okay with the pay $7.50? Then she asks, can you come in Saturday? And I was like, what? No interview, no making sure of my identity, no forms to fill out, nothing at all. And she's like, you start Saturday? I suppose so. Yeah, sure, I can do that. I can come in Saturday. So on Thursday I come in as a customer just to make sure, hey, what time you want me to come in on Saturday? What time should I leave? Is there anything I should do? She tells me, come in on Saturday at 11 for your training. I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. So notice at this point, she still hasn't asked me for any verification of identity. There was never an interview. She doesn't even know what age I am. She never asked me for my ID. So Saturday comes around. I come to the store at 11 and I just walk right in. And they're like, oh yeah, she works here. I was like, still no checking of identity, still no forms to fill out. Didn't even clock in. I just work here now. Nice. Don't know about that. And then they just put me to work and I did training. It was funny because Jess didn't even train me. The manager wasn't even there when I got there. It was another employee and she trained me on how to work the cashier and how to clean everything out. When Jess finally got there, she didn't do much teaching. So I do this for 5 hours from 11 to 4 and no talk of any pay. I haven't talked to Jess about how I'm gonna be getting money legally for this job. And by this time, I should have clocked in or something because there's no way to count my hours that I've been working besides the agreement that we had. I could have stayed late and that wouldn't have been what we had agreed upon, and there's no way to have proved it. So usually you fill out your W-2s before you start a job. That's how everyone else does it, and there's nothing. Usually your employer asks for some kind of ID or social security number. She hasn't asked for anything to prove who I say I am. And you have to be 16 to operate some of these machines. What if I wasn't 16? What if she just did something illegal by putting a under 16-year-old to work without checking their ID? So anyways, it's Sunday. I have the day off. I say that in quotes because I don't actually work there. And my friends and I are talking and we all kind of agree, this is kind of weird, this is kind of suspicious. They should have asked for something by now. They can't just put you to work without verifying your identity, right? So my mom texts the manager, hey, isn't she supposed to be on payroll already? We usually do this kind of stuff before you start a job. And Jess goes off. She's like, no, she started yesterday. She's barely worked 1 day. And so she ends up calling me and she's like, I am not your teacher. I don't want to be talking to your mom and I don't want to work with someone like that. Then she tells me, you can come in and collect the money that you earned on Saturday. And I'm like, I literally just got fired from a job that I've been working at for 1 day. So she tells me, don't even say anything about this being under the table because that's not true. I pay my taxes. Everything I do here is legal. And I'm like, that's nice. You don't know who I am. You never checked my identity. There's no talk of payroll at all. She could have mentioned this earlier. Then she says, I don't put my people on payroll for 2 weeks because the food industry is so strange that people just bounce back and forth all the time, and it would be so hard for me to put them on payroll before those 2 weeks, before I know they're gonna stay there. My apologies. You never mentioned this to me. There was no talk of payroll at all. I was not told that I was going to wait 3 weeks. I was not told that I was going to be on it at all. She just let me walk in and work there. And I didn't know if I was getting paid for training or not. And then she says her reasoning for this. We're a small company, she says, so we don't like to put people on payroll immediately. Madam, this company has legit 250 stores in the United States. And they have stores across 6 different countries. How is that a small store? This sounds like an international business, not putting people on payroll. So I go in a while later to collect the money that I've earned, $37.50. That's the amount I got paid. I'm expecting a paycheck because I worked there. If I didn't work there, then this has all been under the table. But let's say I worked there, then I was supposed to get a proper paycheck like a proper employee. Didn't happen. I go in and her employee hands me a packet full of $37.50 in cash. I would have been fine if I had to wait 3 weeks for my first paycheck. If I worked for 2 weeks and then she put me on payroll and then I got my paychecks after that, I would have been fine. But she didn't communicate that to me. She just let me work there. And that is how I got hired and then fired from Kung Fu Tea in one day. So, we're boycotting Kung Fu Tea. This is boba tea lounge that I've been drinking this entire time. Even though Kung Fu Tea is closer, we're going to this place that's slightly further, but better. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be on the lookout for things like this happening. I don't want anyone taken advantage of like this. As always, you guys can subscribe if you want to. You don't have to, and you can always change your mind. And I will see y'all in the next... See y'all? What am I, a Texan? I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye! I choked again.